Who are Yahuwah's chosen people? The scriptures are quite clear that among all the nations in the world, Yahuwah chose Israel as the one he would work with. Yahuwah said through the prophet Isaiah, "Yet hear now, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen." And that's in Isaiah 44:1. This was the nation that Yahuwah delivered out of slavery in Egypt, the nation to whom Yahuwah gave the land of Canaan, and the nation through whom would come Yahushua, the Messiah. Was there something special about these people, unlike other nations? Yes, it was. Yahuwah answered this very question in Deuteronomy 7, verse 6 through 8. For you are a holy people to Yahuwah, your God. Yahuwah, your God, has chosen you to be a people for himself, a special treasure above all the peoples on the face of the earth. Yahuwah did not set his love on you, nor chose you because you were more in number than any other nation, for you were the least of all the peoples. But because Yahuwah loves you, and because he would keep the oath which he swore to your fathers, Yahuwah has brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So why did Yahuwah choose Israel? Well, the first reason is Yahuwah fulfilling a promise that he made to Abraham. And number two, Yahuwah wanted Israel to serve as a model nation. So why did Yahuwah choose Israel? Yahuwah chose the ancient Israelites because he had promised Abraham that his descendants would become a great nation and occupy the land of Canaan. Yahuwah blessed Abraham and his descendants because of Abraham's faith, a living faith that resulted in diligent obedience to Yahuwah's instructions and law. This promise was repeated to Abraham's son Isaac and to Abraham's grandson Jacob. So why did Yahuwah choose Israel to be his people and a nation to rule over other nations? In Isaiah 41:8 it says, "But you, Israel, are my servant, Jacob." So why did Yahuwah choose Israel over all the other nations? It was because of Isaiah 41:8. "But you, Israel, are my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the descendants of Abraham, my friend," says Yahuwah. As already spoken, through Abraham's descendants would come the Messiah, Yahushua, the one through whom all the families of the earth would be blessed, as in Genesis 12:3. Yahuwah wanted Israel to be a model nation above all the other nations in the world, a group of people through whom other peoples could learn vitality, important lessons. Yahuwah wanted Israel to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, as in Exodus 19:6. Other nations would see that when Israelites obeyed Yahuwah, they were blessed beyond measures. And when they disobeyed Yahuwah, they would be punished, as in Deuteronomy 28. Moses reminded the Israelites of this important concept prior to their entering into the Canaan. In Deuteronomy 4, verse 5 through 7, it says, "Therefore be careful to observe them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the peoples, who will hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what great nation is there has Yahuwah so near to it, as the Yahuwah is to us, for whatever reason we may call upon him." It is important note to remember that Yahuwah wanted Israel to serve and be a servant to Yahuwah and to be a blessing to other nations. Unfortunately, Israel forsook Yahuwah, yet because of their opportunity to serve Yahuwah, they often wrongfully thought of themselves as superior to other people. They apparently overlooked Yahuwah's warning that they needed to obey him and keep the covenant they had made with him in order to be a special treasure to Yahuwah above all people, as is written in Exodus 19:5. So the key lessons on why we were chosen, he told us that we had to keep his laws and his Sabbaths to benefit all the people, and that we had to remain keeping the holy days as well. We're supposed to stay obedient to him, and as long as we stayed obedient to him, he would bless us. He would bless us in the city. He would bless us in the field. We didn't have to build houses. We could rule and reign over all the nations of the earth. We could have plenty of everything. We have wealth of everything. Instead of what you're seeing all the Gentiles ruling and reigning, you would have been seeing us ruling and reigning. In part 2, I will explain why we didn't rule and reign and who is ruling and reigning now. And that's the people that stole our identity.